I'm with the prophet. Islamism forever.
True indeed, Islamism forever. 360 spinning like a tetherball made of Moorish leather. We've been at love and peace. Today we'll be going over the Christian Science Monitor 1911. In regards to the solution of this treaty, the following is a summary of the treaty as published in the Temps, and which is divided into two distinct parts. The treaty with regard to Morocco has for its object the definition of the guarantees under which France will be able to exercise her protectorate over Morocco, various foreign powers who will have the advantage of an open door. And we know Pan American Conference 1928, how they was speaking about the open door policy and all that had to stop. The French government will have the right by agreement with the Moorish government to occupy all portions of Moorish territory, which appears to be necessary for the consolidation and maintenance of order. So that's why I said not all these treaties are good. The French government will be sole intermediary between the Moorish government and the foreign powers. The Sultan of Morocco will conclude no treaties except by agreement with France, which will assume the protection of Moorish subjects residing abroad. The French government will have the control of the finances of Morocco in virtue of giving a guarantee for Moorish public debt. The Sultan may not conclude further loans except with the approval of the French government. France may be represented at Fez by an official whose position will be similar to that of French resident in Tunis. The official will act as the intermediary between France and Morocco and will be at the same time act prime minister to the Sultan. French inspectors will also be attached to the various departments of the Moorish government. Germany undertakes to accept the abolition of the consulate courts from the date when France, in agreement with the other signatories of the Algeciras Treaty, shall have organized similar tribunals to those which exist in Tunis. A similar clause has been accepted by Germany in regard to the right of protection. It's quite obvious that no Moors would agree to this treaty. However, like I said, not all treaties are good. Most of the time, these treaties are because they was put in a bad situation and either they're about to get exterminated and they have to make these agreements. Sultan in control. The Sultan, assisted by the French government, will retain the management and control of the great public services of public works of general interest, including the railways, roads, ports, and telegraphs. The principle of economic freedom is ensured to all nations on absolutely equal terms. Mineral rights will be freely granted to all nations alike. No export tax will be imposed upon iron ore. Industrial railways will be brought under regulation based on French legislation. Purely Moorish general interest will be placed under the exclusive control of the Moorish government. Germany undertakes to solicit, in solidarity with France, the adhesion to the agreement of the powers signatory to the Act of Algeciras. It is obligatory that any difficulties which may arise between France and Germany in respect of the agreement shall be submitted to the Hague Court or arbitration. An explanatory letter, the German government consents to the use of the word protectorate by France for the purpose of describing the new status of Morocco. And as you see here, it speaks about the Moorish War costing $60 million a year, about 1/8 of the national budget. You know what I'm saying? It is for the Moorish leader to show if he is strong enough to control his people and rule in peace. See, their position is that the Moorish Empire was out of order, so they got to put it back in order. But they was causing problems and then turning around and giving indemnity to the Moorish government, blaming it on them. But of course, some of the Moors are going to flip out and there's going to be incidents when you got all these different people in your house. I'll leave the link to the full reading in the description. Conference returns as French hear text of Morocco treaty. This treaty was a straight BS treaty. Ain't no Moors going to want that. Everything got to go through France. And you know that French was claiming parts of the Americas as well. All this is connected to the empire from there to over here. So I know y'all seen Master Teacher Taj yesterday doing demonstrations. I have a Jekyle Island demonstration coming up inspired by Master Teacher Taj Tariq Bey. And sure enough, Rockefeller pops up, everybody pops up just like the Master Teacher says. But my message to the master teacher is, get rest, brother. Rest your eyes and rest your mind. Just rest, brother. Don't let them blood suck you every damn day. I'll do this Jekyle Island, and I know that he's going to love it because I have a lot of good details of what happened on that island. We also have the Veiled Prophet Parade with the Veiled Prophet Secret Society. The parade happened October 19th and 20th, 1928. There was a float, number 7, the Sheik. This happened in St. Louis, speaking about the 51st appearance of the prophet and the unveiling of the prophet. St. Louis, Missouri, Noble Ali said, "You are from Missouri. I have got to show you the veiled prophet. I've come to pull the veil off of all secret societies." This is the prophet that they were saying came in 1878, and he has a conical headdress. And in these days, the people that see this image is saying it's part of the Ku Klux Klan because it has a conical headdress. So we got the behind the Moorish throne with Rothschilds popping up again. We have the Moors Cave legend. Then we had the Muslim sun Delith behind the veil Tahuti music. Then on the Cornish temple, we have the repatriation of the European back to Europe, gaining full nationality status and economic rehabilitation by the Foreign Refugee Authority. Putting out the information of stateless persons trying to get Europeans going back to Europe before they're forced to do so and they stink. The Celtic troglodytes of the Moorish Magi ancestral study. I have more entries coming in on that, tying the number 7 directly with the Anunnaki and with the fallen angel first mentioned. The oldest inscribed is 1500 BC. It was speaking about how Enlil had punished Anunnaki because he had let them out of the chamber of all the lands of heaven, etc. The figure 7 was a deep sacred significance in the beginning of civilization and in Egypt. The ancients believed the 7 great gods and 7 celestial spirits called Ishigs and 7 spirits of the underworld called Anunnaki because the underworld is you trying to wake up the dead. Before I yield the floor, I want to speak again about the parade, the Veiled Prophet Parade. The Veiled Prophet was known to speak on the radio in 1928 and give his speech. You know, in regards to St. Louis, that's where the World's Fair is. We have the demonstration where the U.S. government asked the Moorish Sultan for like 10 to 50 million notes to make the World's Fair, and he assisted with it. They had all the different ones. They had the Moorish temple. They had China land. They had all the different nationalities showing their different cultures and practices and all their different products and stuff so you could get to know each nationality. When you walk by them, they won't be a stranger because you go to the World's Fair and you know all of your different brothers' nationalities, cultures, and everything. You go to a brother's temple right there, they have you take your shoes off. So then when you go to a friend's house and they're that nationality, you already know their culture. You already know them because you go to the World's Fair and see all of your different brothers' stuff. That's the way it's supposed to be. Instead of walking by not understanding other nationalities, you think they're just strangers. I showed all of the images, the blueprint of exactly where the Moorish temple was set up, all the different ones. It had all the diagrams of it. I showed it all on Instagram. Well, we're at a little bit over 8 minutes. I leave you in love and peace. Divine honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world.